Hello, guys. Welcome to GameTalk. Olympique Marseille, Ajax. Unfortunately, a 4-3 loss. It was an entertaining game for the neutral watchers, but we got with us Ajax, man.
Unfortunately, we're not neutral watchers, bro.
Oh, I mean, we talk Ajax, of course, of course.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was an emotional. It was a roller coaster, so to say.
yeah,
Talk us through this game, man. Show us,
yeah,
let us know your emotions, the first half, second half, all the ins and outs, and then we can go through the players one by one, for example.
yeah. Horrible begin because, in my opinion, that wasn't a penalty. It was an easy penalty. One could argue, should you give it or should you not give it? And for me, that definitely was not a penalty. It was way too light for that. But unfortunately, they got it, Olympique Marseille. So they went 1-0 up. And I must be surprised by the resilience today by our team because, we got 1-0 down, 1-1 back again immediately. Then again, a goal against. We scored again immediately in like 4 or 5 minutes later. So I was very happy to see the resilience of this team,
Yeah,
because yeah, we made a lot of mistakes and it wasn't all peachy, especially in the back today. But the way we operated and the efficiency we had up front, that was something that we didn't see like weeks ago. Especially with Brobbey, he needed so many chances to
wow.
score, but today he was lethal because that first goal, the way he waited and just that other second,
Yeah,
to have the right corner to finish that off, that's great composure by him. So that I was very happy with, but the rest was a shit show, man. The penalties we got against, also Ramai in the end with what was he doing there, man? We finally
yeah,
back. We finally got back in the game, and then he thought, "Yes, let me catch this ball that is going out past our own back line, and he just catches this to play it fast again to play forward,
yeah,
and yeah,
probably.
I do not understand that decision at all. But the most important thing of this match is also not making the right substitutions by the coach, in my opinion, because certain individuals should already been subbed, in my opinion. So like a guy, like a Sosa, they were not playing well. But the most important thing that went wrong was Berghuis. What the fuck was he doing, man?
Yeah,
Seriously. This just it baffled me, because you need to go all out because you do not have enough with a draw. You need to win this to
of
have a
course.
chance
It was
still
a
to
must.
go through the next round in the Europa League. What does he do? We go 3-2 behind, and he does something like that. And one could argue, is it a red card? It doesn't matter. You should not, at that point, and that's a part of the pitch, make a tackle like that to be in the position that a referee or a VAR can judge it can be a red card.
Exactly my point. Yeah.
And not only that, he screws the team twice because he was playing pretty well that first half. He had two
Uh,
assists, in my opinion.
Lovely
That one
assist.
two, that 1-2 with Robbie was
Yeah,
terrific. That other pass towards Robbie was also assist by him. So he played quite well. Then he went back to that winger position. Then he made that foul, and that's not only for this match, but also for a very important match next week against AEK Athene at home. And the Berghuis playing solidly like he did in the midfield at first half is a great asset for the team. But a Berghuis playing like that second half, losing his head, yeah, he could better be not in the starting 11. But I'm always thinking positive. He could have a contribution for us next week. So he doesn't only screw us today and solely his teammates and also the fans, but also
mm.
for next week. So it's a double mistake in my opinion.
Yeah. In about a few weeks, not next week,
Yeah,
by the
next week
way,
in the
but
last,
next match. Yeah, yeah.
the last picture of the group stage.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Yeah, it was. I mean, you should. There are players who you wouldn't expect, based on their experience, to do such crazy tackles. I mean, one could argue. We can look later on into the comments whether the viewers find it a red card or not. I mean, I already see some stating it's a red card and so on. But okay, let's get back a bit. When you saw the lineup, what were your thoughts? Because there were some changes in comparison with the game against Vitesse. Linso not playing, and so on. So, what was your first thought?
Yeah, my first thought was, why isn't he playing with Marta on that left side? Because I think he did pretty well. And I'm not the biggest fan of Sosa, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think it's defensively very, weak. He does have like the engine to go forward, but it isn't our best defensive back. And I think Marta shows a lot of potential. So why do you not play him and play Sosa? Guy, he had some matches that he played better than before,
Mhm.
but today he was horrible again. So yeah, some things I just don't understand. Also with Forbes, he's playing him on the wing now, and I understand because he's a winger. But what about Gods? He's playing week in, week out very well in
Young
Young.
Ajax. Yeah.
And I understand playing Berghuis in the midfield because he helps out with the footballing part that we need, especially with Branko van der Boma out until the winter break or after the winter break.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
understand that position. But Forbes was playing horribly. And he hasn't been playing well also with his substitutions, So when he got some minutes in the last matches, so why not give Gods a chance also? Those were the things that I was thinking, seeing the lineup. But one could argue it's a logical lineup, but I would have maybe played with two different players at least.
Okay. And the two players would be
I would play with Marta.
with Marta.
Yeah,
Okay.
and maybe I would opt for either Berghuis on the wing, but it isn't my favorite
Mm,
position for him.
yeah.
But I would like to see Linson also because he's playing well.
All
But I
right.
probably would have opted for Gods because he has played in the beginning of the season on that right wing position, and a few times, like a few minutes, he didn't do that bad, So let him try and be of a value for us on that right side position, and give Forbes maybe a few minutes to get into his rhythm, if it's possible, and get some match rhythm again, because Gods is proving it week in, week out, and Forbes isn't. So that's my 2 cents. I would have
Yeah.
changed those two.
Yeah. And what was your thought about Bergwijn? We'll get back to other players, but Bergwijn, uh, mixed. In my opinion, mixed. He had some good things, but also certain stupid mistakes. Your view on that?
Yeah, I think he had a nice action in that. I believe it was the second half, right? That flick, and then he shot
Yeah, the shot,
in a
the
short
keeper.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was great. I think his attacking play is getting better. It looks more fresh and not, always the same thing. It's like more energy in it. But what I do hate about his play is his lack of defensive awareness. He needs to track back more, and he needs to put in the effort there also, because you cannot sit up front and just let your man run, and then be at the midfield. Maybe a Bobby can do that as a striker, but you should track back and put the effort in it. Remember Anthony, our winger, like 2 seasons ago? He tracked back like crazy always,
Yeah.
and
True.
put in the effort. This is something that I do not see with Steven. And I understand that you cannot do it every time, but he as a captain should be there as an example. And this is something that I miss defensively with him.
Okay. Okay. No, that's clear. I don't want to. I want to highlight certain players
Yeah.
this game. I mean, there is a player who we can't miss out during this game talk. And that's Chuba.
Yeah.
Chuba, tell
Yeah.
me, tell me,
Yeah.
what did you think about Chuba?
He's becoming a fan favorite if he keeps, performing like
Yeah,
this. Because every time, I think his XG, his goal average compared to his minutes played is out of this world. Because this guy, every time he scores when he's getting subbed in, and when he plays as a full 90 minutes last time, he scores also.
yeah,
So this is
incredible.
something crazy. This guy has like, we say in Dutch, neusje for the goal. He has like the ability to be the fox in the box, to be
The
there.
nose for the goal, the nose.
Yeah, exactly. To be the fox in the box and be there at the right position. And this is something that you cannot train on. This is like a thing that you have to have within your abilities. Huntelaar had that also. He also had that I don't know the quality, to be at a certain position that you do not expect the ball to be, but he will be there. And this
Yeah,
is something that a striker, if you have that, that's a great asset to have. And I think Chuba has it. And also a decent guy that can play football and also head the ball, because not
we don't have a
a
lot of
lot
them.
of players within our first 11 can head the ball properly. But this guy's a threat in front of the goal. And I know because when he was at his former club, he scored a majority or at least a big part of his goals with his head. And
Yeah,
this is something that is absolutely necessary within our squad
crucial.
because we lack that power in the air.
Yeah, Berg has already mentioned that
Yeah,
indeed. But then we got a dilemma for Van Schip. We got
yeah,
Brobbey, who's in form. We got Chuba, who's in form. Do you see both of them playing in the starting lineup? Would you include them both in the starting lineup?
Ah,
Or,
I would see why not. You can always try to play Chuba as a 10 because if I have my information correctly at the moment, he is more a 10 than a striker. So why not try him out at that position and let him be, that guy that can penetrate the box and be close to Brobbey when necessary, also giving a little bit more heading power for the crosses. So I would try it at least. We've tried so many things already this season. Try it in the Eredivisie. Try a few games to play him as a 10, and maybe he can be of great importance for us. Not only as a striker, as a sub, but also maybe as a link-up play guy at 10. That can penetrate the box, but also be there making runs for others, and also go in those spaces that the striker leaves behind.
yeah. Okay. And the player that we in general also by the viewers gets criticized a lot, talking about Taylor.
Yeah.
Did he have a good match? Was he invisible
No,
in
for
your view?
me, it wasn't his best game today.
Was that?
It was a little bit more of the standard that he played at before that great game that he had last time in the competition against Vitesse. So no, I wasn't the biggest fan of his play today. There were a few players that stood out for me. Hato played well. I must say, Rensch had a decent performance today. I think he played solidly at that centre back position today. So kudos for Rensch. I think Berghuis' first half was great. Brobbey was great today. I thought Linson had a great performance when he got subbed in. You have limited options when you are a man down, but I think he was solid on the ball. He even had a great, move at the sideline, uh, letting the ball roll and then go
Yeah,
past, his
yeah,
direct opponent. That was nice. So those stood out for me, but there were a lot of players also horrible today. I think Guy was terrible again,
yeah.
and I know he has the engine to go, deep, but his crosses aren't that great. Although that last one on Brobbey was pretty close.
If that
So
went in, bro,
yeah,
if that
yeah,
went in,
yeah. I know, and
crazy.
it
It would
was.
be
I
crazy.
actually, it actually looked like that Brobbey was on time, but his foot was just a little bit higher than the ball. So it wasn't
Yeah,
even that he didn't connect or
uh,
wasn't at the right position, but it just went under
yeah.
his
It
feet.
was.
So that was terrible. But Guy didn't have the greatest game because two of the four goals were marking errors by him.
Yeah,
The overhead kick by Aubameyang and
it
that
was big,
that header from
the
the
corner
corner
kick.
that was
Yeah,
his direct opponent.
yeah. Terrible.
So terrible, terrible marking, and you could see that if he gets in central positions in our squad, to cover players, not on the wing but at the center, it's a liability. So yeah, I saw some good things of him last games, but today he was terrible again. And
It was
yes,
a bit
one
wrong.
could argue that he had marginally something to add to the attack today, but first and foremost, you're a defender, and that
Yeah,
part of the game today was horrible. So he stood out for me, and in a bad way. Other players, Taylor, he wasn't that great. Sosa, he wasn't that great today. Ramai did okay, but in the end, making a huge mistake. Although it was in the end, and probably couldn't win the game anymore. But you would still have like 4 minutes to maybe press if he didn't make that mistake. So yeah, there were some terrible players. Forbes was terrible also. I
yeah.
think he didn't have a great game.
For me personally, I thought Tahirovic had a really bad game. His
Yeah,
ball handling was terrible. Every time he got the ball, they pressed him and they got the ball. The first chance was basically from from Marseille, the first minutes, because of Tahirovic not able to take decisions. His ball handling speed was terrible, always passing backwards instead of upwards. So yeah, I mean, there was unfortunately there was a mix of great players and players who really didn't show their level, and that was
Yeah,
yeah, unfortunately
it
worrisome
also
today.
baffled me that Van Schip just left Guy on. At halftime, I would have subbed him because
Yeah, but for whom?
yeah, maybe play.
Or,
We still have Medic. Why
or
why
Medic
why
in
don't
the
you, why
range
don't you
center.
play him and
Yeah,
play Ranch on the right back
yeah,
position
that's an
or
option.
whatever? You can
That's an
even
option. Yeah,
try another player there. But he just had a
I agree.
terrible game. So
No,
yeah,
no,
maybe there isn't another flavor on the bench, that you can choose of. But
mm,
no, Guy for me, yeah, it's too much of a liability. But Sosa the same way, man, on that left back position. It looks like we have attacking minded
yeah,
fullbacks, but their actual contribution in the attack is limited because sometimes the crosses of both of them are not that great. But
yeah,
defensively, they are a liability. And I would rather have more strong defensive minded fullbacks that can actually mark the direct opponent and be of a value there. And a little bit less attacking minded that has a solid performance in the defense because that is what we need almost also, the wingers
yeah,
should do their part and they should just overlap.
yeah. No, okay, fair enough. Let's go through the comments to see whether there are any questions or maybe valid comments. Um, we got Christian saying, "Can't blame the guys for the fighting spirit. Sadly, though, UEFA's hate boner for us decided to show up again." Yeah, what do you think about the ref?
He was terrible. He was really terrible. And you have like certain decisions that you can argue: was it a red card? Isn't it a red card? We should not get in those positions. But that penalty, come on, man, seriously, that isn't a penalty.
No, the first
We had
one,
we
no, it's this is a joke.
we
That was a joke.
that was a joke, man. Even in England, they wouldn't even maybe whistle. Just let the ball play on and have a goal kick. Yeah,
No,
it's
I seriously thought that the VAR would overrule it.
yeah, me too.
I
But it was
wasn't
so
even.
quick. It was so quick. In my
Yeah,
mind, it was like 20 seconds, and it was already take the penalty.
yeah, exactly. And I thought, okay, this won't be penalty. It will be overruled. But I mean, this is so. This is going to be in the history books because it was literally not even a push, like a real push. And oh man, let me go through the comments again before I explode here. We got somebody who was really pissed at Berghuis. He's Danny. He's pissed with Berghuis. Sell him to the first club that wants him. Never liked him as a player and a person.
Yeah,
That's harsh.
maybe that's the sentiment speaking at the moment. I understand, but
Yeah,
he fucked like nickname 123 321 says. Berghuis and the ref effed us over today. So
yeah,
yes, I agree on that part, but he should know better. As a veteran player in this team, do not expose yourself in a way that can harm the team like that. I can understand that you
yeah.
want to rally the troops, but do it in a smart way, not in a way that you can, and in the end, harm the group by getting a red card. It's just stupid, man.
No, I mean that's the problem now, and I mean we see a lot of viewers stating that it's not a penalty, it was not a red card, it's all the ref to blame, but it's all about
Actually,
opportunity.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. I wouldn't give a red card for that also. And in England, they probably wouldn't even give a card. Probably, that's different
yeah,
standard. That's the problem with this game. You never
this is
know
the way
what
to
kind
play.
of referee you would get. But if you see how easily he gave the penalty in that first half, you should know better as a player that this guy doesn't joke around and gives a card easily and whistles easily. So it's all to blame on Berghuis to get in that position that there can be a chance to get a red card, because once you are in the position that it is a 50-50, you shouldn't get in that position. Maybe as a ditch effort, when there's
Yeah.
a counter or something, but not at the sideline, almost at the middle, in the middle center, of the game.
No, that's true. As mentioned, it's especially you don't see this from an experienced player like Berghuis. But hey, unfortunately, shit happens. I see a great comment because I fully agree with Jake. Linson is brilliant. He should be starting 11. Great player. Absolutely true on with that.
Yeah,
Uh,
and to add to that, you know what makes him a great player? He has high football intelligence.
exactly. Yeah.
You see the way he thinks. He thinks a step further than the position that he's in. And sometimes with Taylor, you know that cartoon character, Peter Post. You know him, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
He
He
delivers the
doesn't.
ball too much, drags it on, dribbles too long
Yeah.
with it. Hilson is always trying to find a solution to speed up the play and think ahead. And it isn't necessary to dribble a lot or to give always that amazing pass. He is just a guy with a high IQ, high football IQ, and that is
Yeah.
something that we need in the team
In,
because we do not have many players that have that.
in combination with his work rate,
Yeah,
he can work as hell.
yeah.
So yeah, and it shows that you don't have to be physically big to be considered a good player, and that's what I like about him. Well, we see Miller Inc. fully agrees with you. Taylor was terrible today. No fan fooling, please. Well, we clearly state that.
He's been busy off the court, off the pitch.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe
somewhere in the
maybe
bedroom.
the fatigue kicks in at the moment.
Um, Ajax, please. You saw how Wrench and Guy defending Alba. Alba scored a fantastic goal. I mean, we should also give credits to Alba, of course,
It
with
was a
that bicycle
fantastic
kick.
goal. It was a fantastic goal. But also with Guy, you guys should look back at that replay. Then he decided
Yeah.
to go for Auba, and
Oh, he went in. Yeah.
instead of going in front of him, to be in the zone to block it, he goes sideways of him, like
Yeah.
giving him like a free
The
chance
space
to
and the opportunity to
Oh
do this,
man, it's so
actually.
stupid. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, it was a great goal by Alba. And you know what it was with Alba today? It looks like he was on 40-50% or something, and still he scores a goal like this.
Yeah.
It's
No,
ridiculous.
he always was a great player.
Yeah,
Um, Then the corner from Bemba we could avoid if we had Mage instead of Wrench. Might be. Of course, we don't know how Mage defends, but coming back to this, if we look at the current game, the game that we played, we conceded from 3 set pieces, 2
yeah,
penalties, and a corner.
yeah.
And this is becoming a trend. I mean, last games we also conceded a penalty. Do you think this is because of the way we play? Is
No,
this
it's because
stupidness
of the
or
way
is it?
it's because of the way we scout. Because you need players with length a little bit in your team. You cannot only have short players. You should have
No.
some players that can at a decent way head the ball, at least in the back, and also be a threat with corners up front. Why is it like every time that we play an opponent, it can be against an Eredivisie squad or against a name the team, almost every team. Why does it always look when we have like set pieces that we are like midget compared to giants? It's almost
Yeah.
always like that. Always, if you see the matchup, you see like a Hato trying
It's
to
the
hold somebody
youngsters.
that
Yeah.
is a lot bigger than him. It's always like that. So
Yeah.
we should scout more on those things. And if you only have small players, then at least balance it a bit with some bigger players like a Medic.
No. Okay. We'll get back to the rumors, by the way, in a minute. Before we finish this podcast, just one quick question related to the John van Schip. Uh, when you see the last couple of games, do you see an uptrend in comparison with previous games, or do you think he has already reached the ceiling? Do we perform better, although we lost the gameplay? Are you happy with how we developed at this moment under Van Schip?
I only have good things to say about John. You can see the guy's hurting still, and he does his utmost for this team. And yeah, I can see improvement compared to the weeks before. And yeah, we shouldn't expect miracles because we're in a shit position without great chemistry within the team, and also missing certain qualities within the team we can conclude that at this point, we miss certain quality within the team and are not title contender team at the moment. Not only because the place we are in, but compare it to the top teams in the Eredivisie at the moment. They play more fluidly. There's more cohesion within the between the players.
Mhm.
There's more tactic also within the pitch by the coach, but probably because some of the coaches like a Slot have been there for a while. So he can, work towards an end product longer. So for a few seasons already. Bos is a veteran coach who has done great with PSV up until now. They didn't even lose in the competition. So you
No.
cannot compare us with them at the moment. But I can see some growth, at least in the mentality of the players in the pitch and what they show compared to our previous coach. Because that was terrible. And also us not going through to the next round in the Europa League, it's not because of Van Schip. He had like tough games against Brighton. We lost very expensive points in the first two matches. Both of those matches, we were in a great position to win the game, to
Yeah.
grab the 3 points.
Especially
And in the end,
if-
twice it went to a unnecessary draw. So that would have been 6 points instead of 2. It would be a
Yeah.
totally different ball game. So the Europa League, it's difficult to judge him on because the Brighton games were tough. Today, unnecessary things happened. The ref, the red card, and still I saw resilience within the team. We even went back to 3-3 with the man down. So that says something.
Yes,
Because in the
confidence.
past, when we got behind, it was the shit show.
Yeah.
So for the time being, I like what I'm seeing, but do not expect miracles from him like overnight.
No.
There needs to be some balancing within the team, some signings, and to complete this team with certain vacancies that we are missing player-wise.
Yeah. Well, it's quite bridge to the next question because we talk about the new players. There are rumors about, for example, Martin de Roon. Your short view on Martin de Roon, is it a player that we need, yes or no?
You know what it is? Is it a player that is can maybe add something to this Ajax? Yes. Is it a player that I like? No. It's not the type of player that I'm fond of,
Yeah.
But as a, Karlasek type in the past, somebody that's maybe a pivot in front of the defense, I can see him being of value to us. But he won't be cheap. He's at Atalanta. He won't be cheap.
Yeah.
I would not spend so many millions on a Daron just to think that he will carry the team. He probably will help balance the defense because his defensive load can help us, but it isn't a great player or something. It isn't something that changes the team overnight.
No, okay. So
at least that's my opinion. What's your opinion?
My opinion, for me,
you're the Italian soccer.
No, I'm not fond of him. I mean, he's an okay player, but not okay player for Ajax because we need a player who can build up as well. And you could see Martin de Roon not only at Atalanta but also at the Dutch national squad. He can build up. He can sweep. He can take the balls. He can be a vacuum cleaner. So in Dutch, so to say, in midfield. But we don't need that player now. We need a player who can build up from the back, who can take the ball from the central defense, like pick the ball and then distribute. And that's not something that Martin de Roon can deliver. So for me, he wouldn't be an added value, and he would be, as you said, expensive. Experience okay, but he would be expensive, maybe salary costs and so on. So for me, it wouldn't be a good deal.
No, I definitely agree. Something I want to add also is I have this thing with Ramai, not because he made a mistake in the end. He looks so tiny in certain situations if I see him in the goal, I really doubt if he will be our first goalkeeper for the years to come. I like somebody that has a little bit of posture and a little bit of length also. And he looks tiny to me, man. When I see him sometimes standing in the goal, it looks like a tiny guy. And I like my goalkeepers to be a presence, And I really sometimes I have those feelings, when those situations come that I think, I hope this will go right, that will be okay. But I
But
don't know if you agree with me on that, but
well, for
this
the
is
first
something
four,
that
from the first, the goalkeepers that we currently have in our squad, would you still consider him the first goalie, or would you go back to Ruli again, or maybe even Gorter, or maybe
no,
even Pasveer? They
I
could
would
all be one of those.
I would definitely go back to Ruli if he's fit again, for
Yeah, he
sure.
is fit.
Yeah,
He was on the. I think he was on the bench today.
yeah.
At
No,
least he was on the
he's fit
bench at
again. Yeah, I
testing.
would go for Ruli. I didn't know he
Okay,
was back again
interesting.
already. To be honest.
Although I mean, he lacks a lot of the build-up play and the way he distributes the ball. I mean, everybody has his own strengths and weaknesses, and you just mentioned
But
the weakness of
even
your.
in his reflexes and stuff, I do not think he's our best keeper. He is his best asset is that he's solidly with the build-up play. You know,
Yeah, with his feet.
sometimes he made a mistake, but for me, he's maybe best keeper with his feet. But the other
Yeah.
skills, I do not rate him the highest. At least that's my opinion.
Okay, so maybe we should put you on goal, man, next time.
Yeah, then you have some length, but you know, it takes like 3 minutes for me to go to the ground. So
It doesn't matter, man. Just with an arm, you can take all those balls with your arm.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, man.
That's true.
Ajax, thanks a lot for your valid input.
Yeah,
And
didn't look forward to this talk, man, after the loss again. But hey, we have to do what we do, right?
yeah, but I mean, we can make it. At least we can make it a little bit fun, like to end
Yeah,
this night with a bit of fun. Because I mean, we lost, but even a draw would be seen as a loss because
yeah,
it would be.
exactly.
So I mean, a 3-3 wouldn't be enough as well. But yeah,
At least I really enjoyed the resilience of the team today.
yeah,
Going back to 3-3, going back to 1-1, going back to 2-2. That was something that I
yeah,
enjoyed, and it was a great match until the red card. So, and also even kudos to the team going back to 3-3. But personal mistakes
yeah,
today screwed us in combination with
yeah.
a bad referee.
I think that summarizes everything, man. The
Yeah.
resilience. That's the best thing what we have seen today. Thanks a lot, Ajax. Thanks
Yep.
a lot,
Welcome.
viewers, and see you guys next time again during for the match against Neck.
Next,
Right? Yeah, Neck.
next game.
NEC, Neck. See you guys. Thanks, man.
Bye.